Hello, hello. Welcome back to my space. I hope you are doing well. As you can see, I have my iPad here. I used to do introductory little talks before my readings. I haven't done one since a long time, but I thought that I wanted to do it today because in the reading that I think that I posted yesterday, at the end of the reading, I talked to you about something that I touch on here and there, right? Because I see in the comments a lot of anger, and I'm not interested about people in the past, and they are all the same, and all those kind of things, right? I understand that very often it comes from anger, frustration, all those kind of things, but I'm always telling you, like, people are not all the same, right? And so I sat with myself and wrote something in order to talk about this subject, right? So it will take 2 minutes. If you're not interested, you can just go. There's a timeline, right? So you can go to the timeline and choose to pass on that. But as said, it's 3 minutes, and I think it's important. I want this to be very, very clear. So here's what I wrote. Not every difficult personality is toxic. Every human being has flaws. A healthy relationship isn't about finding someone without negative traits. It's about finding someone whose flaws don't consistently take away your peace, your freedom, your dignity, or your ability to be yourself. Toxicity begins when a person's repeated behavior controls, manipulates, devaluates, or harm others rather than simply reflecting an imperfect personality, right? So, just to be very clear, I will give you a few personality traits, right? And I think that it will make it very, very clear. So, a difficult personality or negative traits, right? As said, we all have some, but it is, for example, being stubborn, selfish, impatient, disorganized, forgetful, naive, insecure, right? Those are one kind of negative traits, right? It's very, very different than people who are manipulative, who are exerting some kind of coercive control with lying, with gaslighting, emotional abuse, intimidation, people acting upon their jealousy. You understand? It's very, very different. It is two different categories of people. If I feel that, and just to be clear, regarding your own story, all of this, I told you over and over again. There are people that I know that they have not been the person that they should have been for me. And it was coming from naivety, it was coming from weakness, it was coming from their own insecurity, right? I know that. It's not like they are toxic. They were weak or they. Anyway. And still, I might not want to be in touch with them. For me, the story between us might be over. It's done and over. But it doesn't mean that they are purely toxic. They are weak, they are insecure, they are naive, they are all those kind of things, right? And it's not the same. We cannot put them in the same bag as people who are manipulative, intentionally lying about you, who are cruel, right? Who are domineering, who are controlling, who love to use intimidation, right? It's not the same thing. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. There are different categories. And once again, as said, it doesn't mean that because somebody is in a certain category, which is just, like a weakness trait, it doesn't mean that you have to be in touch with them. Obviously not. Especially if they are part of a very, very negative history. For me, a lot of people that I kind of feel that, yeah, they might have been, as said, weak, all those kind of things. I don't think that they are horrible people. I don't think that they intentionally want to hurt, right? But they are part of a story that was too painful, and so I'm not interested anymore. And it's totally legitimate, right? But still, I can see the difference between this and that, right? So anyway, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Now we will get into a reading. Let me just put my iPad aside. Okay, I'm taking my bottle of water. I'm putting on the fan. And now we will get into a reading. And see what messages we are getting today. I don't know why I feel like using this sweet little deck. So this is what we are going to use. This I put to the side for the moment. Okay, so let's see what clarity the cards are inviting us to explore today. We might be talking about the same thing, might be talking about something else, right? Very often when I'm talking about something in the beginning, very often the story that comes up after, very often it is related. I didn't get the inspiration of talking about this apparently without reason, right? But I don't know. So let's see, let's get into it. So what is the main subject? What is the main subject? The Six of Pentacles, fairness, equal give and take. Maybe there is also kind of a more negative connotation for me to the Six of Pentacles, but I will need to see a little bit more in order to know what exactly we are talking about here. Let's see, other people. What's going on regarding other people? The Seven of Cups, choices, options, confusions, illusions. Okay, the driving energy, the Three of Wands. Somebody might have been waiting for something to happen, for some kind of ships to come in, and they are not. Okay, so there might be some kind of frustration. Ooh, I kind of feel that we are talking here about people being confused about you because they were counting on your generosity, knowing you as being somebody always wanting to be fair, being generous. And they might be confused here because it kind of feels that you might have shifted your behavior towards them. Let's see here what's hidden. The Hierophant. Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel that we might be talking here about a set of values, you know. What's hidden, it is, yes, that you can be very loving, very caring, very fair, very generous. And with generous, we don't especially talk about money, right? Even if in the image we see money, it's not about money. But I kind of feel that maybe you have learned not to be the same person with everyone, right? When you realize here that you are dealing with someone who is operating from the toxic traits that I talked about before, right? Or even just negative traits, you know, if you know that you are dealing with somebody very, very selfish, why should you be generous towards them, right? Kind of feel here that there is some kind of maybe a high-level contract that you did with yourself, right? That you know who you are, you have nothing to prove, and you adapt yourself according to who you are dealing with, right? What is the path shift and the change? The Magician. Yeah, I kind of feel here that we are truly talking about you, right? With the Magician, we are talking about, first of all, it's a card number 1, so it's a new beginning. We are talking here about your higher self. We are talking about your individuality. We are talking about your own qualities and abilities. right? So I kind of feel here that we might be talking about you in the past, being the same person with everybody, kind, understanding, patient, generous, maybe thinking that everybody can change, that everybody is well intentioned, right? Kind of feel here that you might have understood something about that, right? That maybe your traditional way of thinking might need some kind of adaptation. With the magician here, you are in your power. With the magician, we are also talking about manifestation. So you might have manifested something in the past related to self-projections on others, because you are able to self-reflect, because you are a certain way, you thought that other people were the same way, and you might have awakened to the fact that it's not the case, right? It's not the case. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper into that. Let's get a little bit more explanation. Just a reminder, this is a collective reading, which means that it is a group reading, which means that it might be for you, it might be partly for you, and it might not be for you. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't take on yourself a story that is not yours. If I'm talking about masculines or feminines with cards that are gender related, like for example the Hierophant or the Magician, we are not talking about the gender, we are talking about the energy of the card. So please apply it however it applies to you, your story, your life. And this reading can be past, present or future. So let's see here. The Six of Pentacles, here truly I feel that we are talking about you loving unconditionally, right? This is what I feel that we are talking about. This is the main subject here. Let's see. Let's get a little bit more information. The Six of Pentacles, tell me. The Six of Pentacles. The Hierophant in reverse. The Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, listen. This is just supporting what I just said regarding what I feel that this reading is about. Give me one more, please. Yeah, the Hangman in reverse. Let me just check if you can see all the cards and how much space I have. Okay, so listen, here, yeah, we are talking here about people who are not operating the same way as you. With the Hierophant in reverse here, you might have given some kind of weight or authority to some kind of peoples that you shouldn't have, right? Because they are not operating from their higher self. They are not operating from the same level of morality and ethics as you are. With the Nine of Cups here in reverse, might be talking about people who are in some kind of superficial happiness, right? Quick happiness. They are not thinking in a very deep way. They are operating in the momentum, what is comfortable for them in the momentum. With the Nine of Cups in reverse, we might also be talking about entitlement and arrogance, right? Which in fact, it doesn't come from a place of real embodied self, right? Somebody who's truly in self-love, self-worth, self-confidence, all those kind of things. They don't feel the need to operate, especially in some kind of controlling way. When somebody is entitled or they are arrogant, right? It's like they are pushing the me, right? Yeah, and the Hangman in reverse. People that are a little bit stuck in their way of seeing things. They might not even think about their behavior. They are just behaving, right? And I kind of feel here that the mistake that they made, right? It is that thinking that because you have the ability to love unconditionally, it means also that you will tolerate disrespect, right? I think about a comment that somebody left, and you will recognize yourself, talking about the fact that sometimes we separate ourselves from people because we know that it is what we need to do for ourselves, for our mental health, for our life, for all of this, and it doesn't mean that we don't carry some kind of love for them anymore, right? And I totally agree with that. We can absolutely love people from afar. And if you are the kind of person who tend to love unconditionally, you might have that. You know, this it might be like a cognitive dissonance inside of you if you don't accept it as a fact. Yes, we can still love people while at the same time we know that they are unhealthy, right? Those are two very, very different things. Because the love that we can carry for someone, first of all, it's a reflection of our own energy, right? And you know, you might see things in other people that they don't see about themselves, right? Also, we can cherish memories that we had with those people, while maybe we had good memories and later on realize, you know, if we are talking about narcissistic relationships, we know that this is the whole issue of the love bombing phase, because you are experiencing something amazing. Is it based on a lie? No, it is the reality that you lived. So yes, you were dealing with somebody who was pretending to be somebody that they were not, obviously, but it doesn't change the memory. You understand? So you can still be attached to some kind of memory and at the same time understand that, you know, the memories that we have and the way that we experience life, it is related to us, right? I don't know if it happened to you, but I had situations where I had a great time and I thought that everybody was happy and everybody was having a great time, and then afterwards I understood that somebody there was suffering and they were having such a bad time, and you know, I didn't see it because I was just in my energy and enjoying the moment. You understand what I mean? So I kind of feel here that some people thought that because you are in this unconditional love energy, you would tolerate anything and everything, which is often the mistake that many people are doing. You can truly be in this energy of the unconditional love and still understanding that some people are operating from their unhealed self, and that it is toxic, and that you might also see that they are totally stuck, right? And so instead of you staying there because it's unhealthy, even though you truly have some kind of unconditional love for their soul, you know that you need to move on, right? Anything else here about the Six of Pentacles? Tell me, the Six of Pentacles? The Ten of Wands in reverse. Letting go of some kind of burden. Letting go of some kind of burden. Yeah. Okay, let's see here what we are getting for the Seven of Cups. Other people being confused. Yeah, they are confused. Because I kind of feel that they thought that they knew you. We have the Knight of Pentacles here. The Six of Wands in reverse. They thought that they knew you. They thought that the relationship was steady. Yeah, maybe because they saw you as being steady, thinking that you are steady. It's kind of... what comes to me, it's a little bit taking you for granted, right? There is here something about they took you for granted. Yeah, this is what I feel here. They took you for granted, so they thought, you know, it's stable. It's stable. You are there, you tolerate a lot, you understand a lot. You are kind of, whatever they are doing, you are still there. And instead of celebrating you for that, they thought that you would always be there, right? Yeah, it kind of feels here that you have rejected them. The Six of Wands in reverse. And the Four of Pentacles, they are holding on to something. Might be to you. It might be to the narrative that they built in their mind about you and the connection and the fact that you would never leave, that you would always tolerate, you would always forgive, you would always do all those kind of things. And this is why they are confused. They didn't think that you would ever let them go. 1 second, I want to take another deck in order to get a little bit more information about some cards. 1 second, I will put this one to the side right now because I don't want to use this one. Okay, let's see here if I can get a little bit more information about... I kind of feel that they were holding on. I'm sorry to say it this way, but this is how it comes to me. They were holding on to you being a loser, right? You never reacting. This is what I feel here. You accepting their breadcrumbs, their disrespect, all those kind of things, right? And this is why they are confused now. Tell me here the Four of Pentacles. Uppa. Sorry, this jumped. I have to take this card. I cannot even see which one it is. The Three of Cups. Yeah, it feels like they are holding on to the connection that was there before. Yeah, because they see you as somebody positive. Tell me, the Four of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords in reverse. Yeah, they are very, very confused. I just check what is at the bottom of the deck here. On this deck, right? The Knight of Swords in reverse. This is my smear campaign card, right? But it doesn't especially mean that we are talking about a smear campaign. We might also be talking about people having very not fact-based opinions of you, right? Not seeing you for who you are. Spreading up lies about you. This might also be. Anything else here for the Four of Pentacles? What they are holding on to? Yeah, I feel that they are the Hierophant in reverse again. Yeah, listen, they are holding on to their narrative, and this is why they are confused. It's kind of if they don't want to accept that their behavior was unacceptable, and that you just got, that you during all this time in the past, you were giving them chances over and over and over again until you didn't anymore, right? Kind of feel that they might have thought that maybe you thought that you don't deserve anything else. Maybe that because you are understanding, so you will just continue to understand anything and everything. I kind of feel that they didn't understand that you were understanding because you thought that things would change. But it didn't, right? Because when you are understanding, at the end of the day, they don't even feel the need to put any kind of effort because they are not losing anything, right? This is the mistake that we often make. We think that we can we can heal somebody's wounds by pouring love into them, right? But in fact, it's not the case. It's not the case. So I don't mean that the love didn't have some kind of effect, right? But I kind of feel that they realize only the moment that you stop tolerating, that you stop accepting, that they are forced to see what you endured out of love for them, right? Because until that moment, very often, they don't think that you are enduring out of love for them. They think that you are enduring out of lack of self-love, right? So they are putting it on you. They don't see that it's for them. They think that you are doing it, you know, it's like somebody who will always be helping. People will say, yeah, no, they are doing it because they like to do that, because they have nothing better to do of their time. This is often the narrative that they are building in their mind, which might be totally not the truth. You are doing it because you want to help someone. You are giving to them your energy, your time. It's very, very precious. But because they might not feel that they are truly bringing anything, they don't consider the element of love and support and all those kind of things. They just think that, you know, you have nothing better to do of your time. And until the day that you say, you know what, I'm stopping putting here energy, understanding, time, all of it, I'm taking it back, suddenly they realize that, this person was valuing their time. I thought they didn't. Right? Okay. Let's see here if we are getting anything else for the Seven of Cups and this confusion that they are into right now. Tell me, the Seven of Cups. Temperance. You have brought some kind of balance. This is also talking about alchemy, right? So I kind of feel that by you stopping to be in this energy of, I want to say, acting upon what they see as unconditional love, right? Or what you might have seen as unconditional love. Because you might have thought in the past that loving unconditionally, which I want to say something, it's that very often I feel, right, that, you know, I am somebody who tend to love unconditionally. This is how my heart operates, right? My heart operates from unconditional love. This is the way that I operate. But I also learned on the side that I have to pay attention to my energy, right? And I tend to love unconditionally because I have some kind of higher understanding of the human being, right? So I understand why a person becomes a person, why people are acting in a certain way. I understand all of that, right? I see the child in them. So, you know, so I have this motherly love, right? And it's to everyone, anyone and everyone, right? But it doesn't change the fact that I can still place some kind of judgment on a person and say this person is not for me because they are like this and like that and like that. They are controlling, they are manipulative, they are lying, they are not trustworthy. Whatever it may be, and I don't want this kind of person in my life, because even though I have this unconditional love for their inner child, I see that it's not somebody that I can trust, right? Temperance. Yes, they don't understand. In fact, they are confused, right? This is what I feel. They are confused. I kind of feel that they do understand now all the efforts that you did that they totally overlooked in the past, right? So let's see here what we have with the driving energy and the Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel that we are talking about people who thought that you would always be there, right? If there was some kind of issue, some kind of conflict, you would find a way to forgive, right? And it would be, it would come back to what it was before, right? Let's see here, the Three of Wands. Tell me. The King of Wands, the Two of Wands. This is an important card also because it's a number 3 and it is in the 3rd position, right? So if you've been here before, you know that for me it's important. Something else. Yeah, they are confused, right? We have here two kings. We have the King of Wands. This is somebody taking the lead, being very, very strong, right? And then we have the King of Cups in reverse. Somebody emotionally unstable, an emotional manipulator also, right? And then in between we have the Two of Wands. Listen, I truly feel here that they thought that nothing would ever change, right? I kind of feel that they somehow, even though this King of Wands is in the upright, I kind of feel that they thought that you were dependent on them in some kind of way. This is what I feel, but I also feel that I'm missing a message here. So let me check here. Let's see here. Tell me the King of Cups, please, in reverse. The King of Water in reverse. The Two of Swords. The Devil. I kind of feel that they thought that you were blind. This is what I feel here. Yeah, that you were dependent on them. This is why they thought that you would always come back, because they thought that you were unable. Yeah, so they thought, right, that they were the King of Wands in your life. They thought that you needed their leadership in your life. They thought that you couldn't do without them in your life, right? That you were planning your life surrounding them. Yeah, and I feel that now they know that you see their negative traits, like their how they are driven by their own shadows. And this is why you released. Tell me the Three of Wands in reverse, the Three of Fire in reverse, the Ten of Swords in reverse. I feel that they never thought that you would step out. I think that they truly thought that you were naive. Yeah, this is what I feel. I feel that they thought that you were naive and dependent on them. So this is why you would never leave. Let's see here. Let's see the King of Wands. Do I need to close the window? The Six of Wands in reverse. Once again. And the Seven of Wands. Give me one more here, please, with the King of Wands. The Fool in reverse. They thought that you admired them, that you were holding them in some kind of authority, and this is why they thought that their place was secure. 1 second, I will close the window because I kind of feel that there's a gardener or something. Okay. Okay, let's see here what we have for the Hierophant. Tell me, the Hierophant, what's hidden? The Page of Cups. The King of Swords. And the Empress. Yeah, listen, what's hidden, what they didn't succeed to see, in fact, it is that you have a lot of clarity. You are very observant, right? And you are abundant by yourself, the Empress. The Empress, the King of Swords, and the Page of Cups. Pure-hearted, you are, definitely. We might also be talking about your inner child healing. You being somebody pure, operating from your inner child's energy, a very pure energy, loving energy, right? Kind of feel that they saw you as naive. They never saw this, the King of Swords. This is somebody observant, intelligent, with a lot of clarity, where justice is very, very important. Yeah, and you are abundant. I truly feel that what we are talking here, it is about people that thought because you were kind, loving, understanding, tolerating a lot, right? They thought that you needed them. That's it, that's all. Yeah. And I also feel that now you might have understood something here, right? About people just, maybe treating you as if you are naive, or you are a dreamer, or you are weak, or you are immature because of your Cups energy, while at the same time you have this King of Swords energy inside of you, and the Empress energy. With the Empress, you might be a masculine, right? It doesn't matter, but we are talking here about the motherly nature once again. This is reflecting on me, on your energy that is a motherly energy, very loving, very caring. Yeah, the unconditional love. We are talking here about the unconditional love. I guess that you are the kind of person who truly wants to see everybody win, while you might have been dealing over and over again with people who were not thinking this way, right? So whatever you were doing, because you wanted to see other people win, they took it as you not respecting yourself, you being stupid, being naive, being like yeah, they never thought that you would put down burdens. But I also feel that it's because they would have never done that, right? They would have never sacrificed anything for anyone. So you being able to sacrifice out of love, out of friendship, out of your perception of humanity, right? Wanting to see everybody elevate, they couldn't understand it for what it is, because it's so far away from their system of belief, right? Okay, anything else here with this Hierophant? Anything else with the Hierophant? The Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah, they were not operating from their heart space. Yeah, you might have been operating from your heart space, surrounded by people that were not. And this was kind of maybe a kind of lesson. I cannot stand this word, but okay. For you to understand how to operate with who you are, having this ability to love unconditionally, right? And how to live with this energy while you might be surrounded by people that are not operating from there, right? So they took your unconditional love like they took you for granted. And I kind of feel that we are talking here about you. It's interesting, right? Because it looks like this person, it might not be the image, but I see them being in a, in a thing that can go to the moon, and like closing this door, right? You can give, and when you realize that you are dealing with people that are not operating the same, you need to be able, to close the door and fly back to your own universe, right? I feel personally that ideally we don't always have to close the door, right? And go no contact and cut it all. It becomes necessary, I feel, when the foundation of the relationship was not good, maybe because of the unhealed part of us, or people mistreating us because at the end of the day it's kind of abusing our beautiful qualities, right? Then I kind of feel that it's difficult to shift from this place to that place, right? But I kind of feel that once we are aware of the fact that we tend to love people unconditionally, maybe because we have this connection to their inner child, but also considering at the same time that people are often not operating from the healed inner child, right? They are operating from the wounded, right? Which I kind of feel that we can see it, and this is why we tolerate, but what it truly means for us, right, and our connection to them, then I kind of feel that we can envision the way that we are entering into connections a different way, right? And then we built it on another basis. It's not, okay, since the beginning, I'm being totally myself and giving my unconditional love totally, right? And being totally the ride and die of any person that I meet, right? No, I'll be the ride and die to somebody who is a ride and die for me too, right? And being aware that some people will observing when we feel the need to put some kind of boundaries, right? People who are testing our limits, people who are trying to drag on our empathy, right? Being sensitive to all those kind of things, being observant of people who truly, like having this ability of the unconditional love, it's a beautiful thing, right? But it's also a treasure, so we need to be able to protect it, right? So I kind of feel that it's our job to approach relationships in a different way, right? Maybe taking the time before we allow someone to get into our heart, right? Okay. Let's see here, the Magician. This is the path, shift, and the change. And I truly feel here, this is you being aware of your own abilities and operating from there, right? Tell me, the Magician. The Five of Cups, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's about truly understanding, seeing ourselves in relationships, right? Here, what comes to me immediately with the Five of Cups and the Queen of Swords in reverse here, it is understanding that some people are in a kind of depressed state, right? But it all has to do with the way that they are looking at themselves, the way that they are looking at life, the way that, and when they are looking at life, right, with the Queen of Swords in reverse, we are talking about somebody very critical, very judgmental, very bitter at the end of the day, right? Somebody who is not truly resilient in their heart, I mean, because I've known a lot of people who were presenting themselves, saying like, I know that I'm so lucky, but at the same time, they are never happy about their life. So, so they understand that they should be resilient and they should be grateful, but they are not, right? They are not. So, yeah, so understanding that when people are in this energy of being all the time seeing just the negative in their life, it's not on us to save them. And there is no amount here of love that we can give to them that will change anything. Chances are that they will just hate us even more. How can you be so positive when I have such a hard time? Right? And the fact that you are giving to me when I am like I'm this dark cloud. What does it mean about you? That you are under me, right? Okay, anything else, the Magician? Oh, the Strength in reverse. It's truly about you being able to observe your ability. I will tell you something, right? I am blessed with kind of a lot of talents, right? There are a lot of things that I can do, right? I needed to be able to count on myself, right? I'm very independent, and there are a lot of things that I can do, and truly I kind of feel that I was blessed by a lot of talents, right? So, for example, I will give you stupid examples, right? If I need to arrange something in my house, so it's not everything, but most of the things I can do it. I'm kind of good in design, right? I can see what looks good, and I love to do all these things, right? I'm good at makeup, for example, also. I understand very well all kind of color theory, so I can help people understand better what are the colors that are good for them. I have a lot of knowledge in many things, right? And I learned not to share everything that I can do, right? Because people will stay around just because I am able to help them with this and with that and with that and with that. It's like you are getting into a relationship, and then you are showing your best self. You cook so well, and you know how to entertain the house, and you are generous, and you know how to take care of yourself financially. You have to pay attention, because some people will stay just because of that, and then they see that you can do it, so why should they do it? It's once again the game of the giver and the taker. If they see that you give everything, so yes, there are some people that will say, stop, I want to be able to give here too. I see that you are giving, I want to give too. But many people, they will become the takers, If every time that you are meeting a friend, for example, right, you are always going to them, right? So they will think, okay, apparently it's comfortable for them to come to me, why should I go to them? And them thinking that, let's say, okay, might be a mistake, but the moment that you are inviting them to you, you will realize that they will never come. Right? Because for them, it's conditional. It's either you make it comfortable for them and you are going to them, right? I think that this is a good example regarding what I said before, about people thinking that you are doing it because it's comfortable for you. Right? I was going to a lot of friends simply because they had children and all of that, right? So I was trying to adapt myself to their condition. They didn't even have to ask until I realized that with me they would never take a babysitter, they would never make plans with me outside, but with other people they would absolutely do it, right? And so they were convincing themselves that I enjoyed that, right? When it was not the case, I was just adapting myself. Understood? Okay, let's go to closure here. Yeah, I kind of feel that they lost control here of the situation the moment that you took back total power over you, right? Over knowing who you are, what you give, and also especially understanding what you can expect in return, and understanding also that that people might misread everything that you are doing for them and this unconditional love as weakness, self-abandonment, right? Let's go to closure here. Yeah, listen. Beautiful. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse, right? When somebody is not investing in you, not caring with you the way that you are able to be, the Queen of Cups, very emotional, very sensitive, very understanding, very patient, very intuitive. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. Observe before you give your heart space to anyone, before you sacrifice time and energy. Observe what is going on. I don't like that, right? I like to be able to be totally myself, and that's it and that's all. But we are operating with other people, right? So ideally, I would like to be in relationship connections where I don't need to pay attention, right? I don't need to observe. I don't need to pay attention. I am just being myself, and that's it. That's all, right? And it doesn't mean that you are not yourself. It just means that you understand how other people operate, right? And if you want a connection, temperance that is balanced, the equal give and take is important. People very often, they don't respect you if they are getting things too quickly, right? It reminds me, about, and I was always revolted by this way of thinking, right? And it's a whole discussion, and I won't do it here on YouTube because I think that YouTube might not appreciate this discussion, but there is the thing, right? Don't give yourself too quickly, in relationship when we're talking about the bad activity, right? Because somebody won't respect you. I find it absolutely ridiculous, right? But somehow there is something about that. Is it ridiculous? Absolutely and totally. And I was also in my mind, why should I not do what I want for somebody else? I will do whatever I want. And then the person, whatever, it's irrelevant. It's about me here. Why do I need to prioritize other people on myself? Ridiculous. I don't agree with that, right? But there is something here in the generality of the connections, right? That it's about observing who is truly investing and who is not. And when you feel that you are, and and you might be totally yourself in the beginning of the connection, but just, it's about coming from a healed place and being able to truly see, and observe the manipulation. One thing that I saw over and over and over and over again, I already talked about it long time ago, it's that in the beginning of the connection, and I'm talking about friendships also. For me, the example that I saw was in friendships, right? Like people that are, for example, counting on you to pay for them, right? The first time they will pay on you. So they know that in your mind, you would never ever think that they are, how do we say, avare? That they are counting on you to pay. Because the first time, like they put in your mind that they are generous, when in fact they are not. Another thing that I saw, it is people who, in fact, won't make efforts in the relationship later on, right? They will expect me to always come to them, to always be comfortable to them. In the beginning, they will make an effort the first time. They will come, for example, to my place. I love to be in my place. I love my environment. I love the intimacy. I love all of it, right? And I have no problem to go to other people's home also. I don't need people to be outside, and partying, all those kind of things. So they will come to my place in the beginning, the first time. They will come only once. Afterwards, it will always be me that need to move towards them if I want to see them. But because of this first time, they think that, okay, now you saw that I can do the effort, so I don't need to do it anymore. You understand? So being a little bit observant of all those things, if you know that you are extremely generous, extremely understanding, right? Be also generous towards yourself and understanding towards yourself. It's very important, right? Yeah. Your own inner child, operating from your own inner child. Yeah, having direction in your life, knowing what you want. It's not about the comfort of everyone but you. It's not, right? Equal give and take. You are a beautiful energy in other people's life. They need to be the same towards you, right? It's important. Okay, I will leave it here. I hope that it was helpful, insightful, maybe even healing. I hope that it brought you maybe clarity and awareness. Sending you a lot of love and good vibes. I'll see you in the comments. Until very, very soon. Bye.